It's winner take all in the Las Vegas Ward 2 special election, and we're talking with one of the top candidates right here on Nevada Politics Today. I'm your host, Victor Jakes. Victoria Seaman once served as an assemblywoman in Carson City. Now she wants a seat on the Las Vegas City Council. Victoria, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, you want to represent Ward 2, and Badlands Golf Course is in Ward 2 and been the source of much controversy. Where do you stand? Should developer Johan Lowy be allowed to build homes on that golf course?
Well, let me just start with this. I've been walking the district now for 3 to 4 months. Probably my team and I have hit over 10,000 homes, and personally, I've probably hit about 1,500 homes. And less than a handful of people have even mentioned Badlands. It's not the issue it was in the last election.
So I've interviewed probably 6 Las Vegas City Council candidates. I've asked them each this question, and no one will give me a straight answer. Okay, that's what I want a straight answer.
I just wanted to start with that. It's in the courts. I think the next time that the City Council will actually be faced with Badlands is how much they're going to write the check to the developer, which is Johan Lowy, for. Because I don't believe the developer would have bought the property if he didn't have permission to build on it. This should have been settled by the City Council. That is the City Council's job, is to work with everybody and find a solution. It didn't happen. It's in the courts. It shouldn't be in the courts.
So do you think the City Council should go back and basically approve him to build on the golf course?
That's up to the developer, because right now he's in court for inverse condemnation.
Right.
I met with Johan Lowy and met him about a year ago. I have not been able to get an appointment with him, so I don't know where he stands on it, but that would not be up to the City Council as far as I'm aware. It would be up to the developer because he's got over 13 lawsuits in the court.
Gotcha. On your website, you talk about the importance of economic development and bringing employers to Las Vegas. What would you do to attract businesses to the city of Las Vegas?
There's a lot of things that I would do, same as when I was a legislator. One of the things that government does is they're very quick to tax, regulate, and shut your business down. I've seen it, and what we need to do is change our attitude and help businesses succeed. They're the key to job creation. They're the key to our economic development. Why aren't we doing that? Why are we so eager to regulate them and shut them down rather than help them succeed with on-site consulting and help them to navigate easier and make it more affordable for people to achieve their dreams and create businesses and jobs?
You know, one of the things on your website, you say the number one priority for the people that you've talked with is public safety. What does Las Vegas need to do to decrease crime and help people in Ward 2 feel safe?
Well, first of all, I think that we need to partner with Metro as far as awareness. One of the things that I felt we needed to do was bring more resources, and that's been done in the last few weeks. So this is after I've already written my 5-part plan. The other thing I think we can do, I live in a housing community. My neighbor is Sheriff Joe Lombardo, and we were hit 6 times with burglaries in September. So we had targeted hotspots. We have the technology to target hotspots. We need to make sure that's what Metro is doing. Bring awareness, bring town halls together like I did when I was in the assembly, of allowing Metro to come in and talk to us about how we can keep ourselves safe. There's always something I learn in every town hall we do. I come from a family of law enforcement, and I'm still learning. So we can bring that awareness. The other thing we can do is really make sure everybody knows about our neighborhood watch, because it does deter crime.
And why do you think crime is going up? I mean, the economy's booming. You know, usually crime would increase during a down economy. Why don't people feel safe?
I think they're targeting spots like Ward 2. It's a very diverse neighborhood. We've got lowest income and highest income, and I think it's a big target for people to come and burglarize homes.
You know, you say you want more police presence. Doesn't that require raising taxes?
Absolutely not. And that ties into my business plan of raising revenue. If we stop trying to shut businesses out and start helping them to succeed, that brings in more revenue.
You know, on your website, you oppose the Department of Transportation's plan to make the HOV lanes on US 95 permanent HOV lanes. Why are you opposed to people carpooling?
Well, first of all, HOV lanes were created for clean air quality, and using less fuel, wear and tear on the car. None of that is happening. None of that is true. What we see is we see cars idling on the freeway and a free lane that no one is using. And I had a friend who came over for a meeting last night, and he was more than an hour late and had that complaint. I saw the HOV lane empty, and I sat on the 95 for an hour and a half from Henderson. That is inexcusable. There is no reason that we should be having an HOV lane 24/7. I think we should, and constituents of Ward 2, we've had this big discussion about it, is let everybody use the lanes that they pay for. It's not giving us clean air. It's not saving fuel. All of it, all it's doing is the opposite. So that is why I have a disagreement with the transportation on that issue.
Another issue that's come before the Las Vegas City Council is short-term rentals. In December, the City Council voted in a very close vote to basically restrict platforms like Airbnb in the city. Where do you stand on that?
Well, I stand on ordinances that are in place need to stay in place for now until we can see how the ward feels about it. Our ward, Ward 2, so far, I think a lot of bad actors in party houses has given the whole Airbnb and short-term rentals a very bad name. So I think we need to have discussion on that.
You know, another issue facing the city is homelessness. The city is trying to centralize services to a homeless courtyard. Is that the right approach?
You know, I'm not sure that's the right approach. I think what we're missing here is going to the source of the problem, and the source of the problem is mental illness and drug addiction. We incarcerate drug addiction when it would be less expensive to treat it. So I believe that we need to look at some of the other things that we can do to get a handle on homelessness. I mean, homelessness has been around since the beginning of time. I'm sure it'll always be around. But we certainly can put a big dent in it with a public-private industry, and I've seen it. I've seen it with Veterans Village, where they're helping a lot of vets that have been on the street. So there are things that we can do. I think though, first and foremost, we need to get to the source of it.
You know, we're filming this in a studio on Bonanza Road. If you drive up and down Bonanza, there's people basically camping on the side of the road. Should that be allowed? Should people be allowed to camp on sidewalks and public places?
Nobody wants to see that. No one at all wants to drive by and see that. And that's why it's really important when I get into the City Council to roll up my sleeves and look at some really good solutions. I know they're working on things right now, but it's not only that people don't want to see it, we don't want to turn into California as far as what's going on there is really disgraceful to our country. But what we want to do is look at really long-term solutions, because it's also dangerous. I mean, these people walk in the street, just walk right in front of you, and we don't want to see any kind of accidents. And when you're living right on public sidewalks that are right next to stoplights and stop signs, it's very dangerous.
So should the police be arresting these folks?
I'm not sure that's the solution.
You know, another issue facing the city is the rising cost of housing. And there's a proposal at the legislature to allow the city to basically impose price controls. Is that something you'd ever support?
I don't support free market. I support free market. I don't think that's the answer. But that's going to be up to the legislature, and I hope they make the right decisions on that.
And what would you do as a city councilwoman to, help people afford housing?
Well, again, it's jobs. Bottom line is jobs. And again, we have a big mental illness and drug addiction problem that we need to work with. But the bottom line is creating jobs and once we have a good economy in Las Vegas, that's going to help all around.
And we're going to have to leave it there. Victoria, thanks so much for joining us.
No, thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching. Remember, if it involves Nevada politics, we're talking about it right here on Nevada Politics Today. I'll see you next week.